Hi everyone, and welcome to the fourth day of our Christmas calendar challenge. Now today it's Sunday and we figured we would mix it up a bit on Sunday. So I'm guessing that many of you might have had a hard week. You know, we've been moving, we're preparing for Christmas, or we're working, or whatever, right? So today we're gonna do a beautiful yin flow. You see that I've marked the day here with a little bit of white, and so that's when we're gonna have our yin flows. Okay, so every Sunday with the Christmas calendar challenge, we're gonna have a yin flow. Okay, remember the terms, guys. If you haven't checked it out yet, you're gonna be in the description box if you want to check that out. And then, without further ado, I have switched my yang for my yin deck today, and so we're gonna pick a yin card. All right, and it is open wing. All right, so let's do a sequence, shall we? Okay, so I'm gonna take out the rest because I actually only have one yin deck at the moment. So I'm gonna take out the rest that I've not picked, and then we're gonna do a little flow. So this, we're gonna go with the element of earth. So we have the spleen. Let's see, I think that we are going to do a little malasana to warm up, and then let's see where we want to move. All right, I'm gonna have the malasana come into a forward fold just to get a little bit of movement in the beginning. Oh. Sorry about that. All right, and then I think, let's see, I'm gonna check out a little bit on the back of our decks here. So this has, and so that I'm gonna add this one. Maybe I'm gonna add this one. Seal, I think maybe I'm gonna go for the Sphinx. Hero, dragonfly, and sleeping swan. Okay, we're not gonna do too many because we don't want it to be super long. Of course, if you have time, you can add, right? Okay, so let's see. So we're gonna have these two. So that's, I'm gonna count about around 4 minutes each with the transitions. So no more than 7, okay? And then we have to remember that some we have to do both ways. Okay, so I'm gonna have the forward fold. Then maybe we will sit down and do a hero. And then we can lie down. These are all single. And then I think we're gonna add our open wing pose. So the pose that is for this particular, no, maybe we're gonna do, let's see. No, I think we're gonna do Sphinx first and then move into open wing. So you have a little bit happening in this area before we move into this. Now, yin is different, right? So it's not really about, not so much about what I just talked about, but still. 4, 16, 24. Okay. We can have 2 more. Let's see, so it's either gonna be, I think we're gonna maybe just do I want to do this sleeping swan, but then we also want to do a shavasana, right? Yeah. All right. Okay. Now, let's get ready for a nice yin session. Okay, so before we start to land on our mat, there's one thing that we need to do for the yin that we don't need to do for the yang as much, at least. Pull out your props, right? You see I've got a blanket and a cushion here. I'm gonna place my block here. I'm gonna liberate my other block over here as well. So I have these ready. And then I have my bolster here, but I'm gonna take out this one. I'm gonna leave it here. So that okay, so you do that too, right? All right. Then we're gonna find a comfortable seated position. And we're gonna start to deepen our breath. And just land for a moment. Okay. Now we're going to move into a malasana. So, yin is different from the hatha and vinyasa yoga in the sense that we're going to hold the asanas for a longer period of time. So what we want to do is that we want to find our edge. So that it's not hard, it doesn't have to, it shouldn't be difficult, but it also shouldn't be too comfortable, right? It should be comfortable, but not. So we're trying to find that edge. So I'm finding my malasana. I'm finding my squat position, opening the knees to the sides. And then here you can, I'm just gonna have the timer go so that we know how long we're gonna stay. And you can find your malasana. Here you can also choose, if this is hard for you, to sit on a block, right? Or you can help yourself with a cushion or anything that will help you to find that edge. And then what we want to do is we want to try to find stillness. To find that place where we can just be still. Now we're working with releasing fascia, right? So we're working really with releasing. And for our fascia and for these deeper parts to be able to release, we have to stay for a longer period of time. It's not like a flow, right? then this tells us that we're gonna move to a forward fold. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly turn my toes a bit inwards. I'm gonna help myself with my blocks. If you want to see here what you wanna, what's comfortable for you. You can have a micro bend if you want to. You can have your hands on your blocks. You can have them in ragdoll. Just find your edge. Now I said that we want to find stillness. Obviously, though, if you have some pain or something that feels like it's not right, then please move out. It's also normal that we use a bit more time to get into the asana when we're doing yin, right? Giving ourselves time to explore and find the shape that makes sense for our body. Using the props, using whatever you have laying around to support your body in the best possible way, so that you can find that golden spot where you feel the stretch, maybe just a little bit, but in a way that you can keep the shape for a longer period of time. We're going to start to slowly bend our knees. It is also important here that when we move out of asana, we give our body time to transition. And if you need to do some stretch in between, or feel like there's something that's calling you, then feel free to do that. If you want to open now up a little bit on the front before we move into hero, for instance, that's okay. Then we're gonna bring our knees together and taking the heels outside. Then we're gonna sit down. Here as well, find your place. Maybe you need a block underneath. Maybe you want a blanket underneath your knees. Maybe you want to sit on the bolster instead of the block, or a cushion. Whatever. Use your time to figure out where your asana is. And then when you have, we come into stillness. And try to let go. Relax. And breathe. We're going to move slowly out. Support yourself while you're getting out. If there is anything like before that's calling you, maybe giving your feet the opposite stretch, like you see that I do, to have a little counter. You're free to do that, and then when you're ready, you come into the next one. We're going to move down to laying on the mat. And we're going to move into Sphinx pose. Now, we want to try to find stillness, and we also want to try to be relaxed. And depending on how, I don't know how flexible you are. For me, for instance, Sphinx, if I try to relax here, then my lower back will feel it. So what I like to do is to have a little blanket, and then I put it right on my hips here. So I get that little bit of a tilt, right? And then I can relax more and get the right stretch. So take your time, find your shape, and then when you have found your edge, you can close down your eyes and become still. You can also choose to support your head here, right? If you want to. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Okay. Then we're going to move slowly out. So maybe you want to come down first. Maybe you want to push into child's pose for just a moment. Stretch out that lower back, getting a bit of movement. Maybe a little cat. And then we're going to come down to our open wing pose. So the pose that we drew for this particular day. So you might want to move a bit to one side of the mat. And then reach your arms out wide. We're going to slowly roll over to one side, bending the top leg and supporting it, putting the sole of the foot behind the grounding leg. Now here as well, you can, if this is uncomfortable, you can support yourself by propping up. You can support yourself here. You can maybe not take the leg so far. If this is comfortable, you can also stretch your other arm behind. And then you can see moving that bent foot, how far you want to take it. You can also support your head here. On a block on a pillow, or find whatever is best for you. And then we're going to find stillness. Try to relax and let go. Then we're going to slowly come out. Help yourself with the upper arm rolling back. Maybe moving a little bit. And then whatever calls to you, whatever movement calls to you as a counter. And then moving to the opposite edge, reaching your arm out, and then slowly coming into the other side. Now, it's not a given that the sides are alike, right? So maybe this side is stiffer, maybe it's more loose. So just explore and try to find the shape that is right for this side. That doesn't necessarily mean the same as before. So use your props and try to find somewhere that's comfortable enough that you can stay and be still. Okay. So we move slowly out. Move slow. No rushing in, right? Okay. A little bit of movement. We're going to move into the sleeping swan or sleeping pigeon for those that are not as into the yin. Okay, here as well, find whatever is comfortable for you. A lot of people like to use the, I'm going to find my pigeon, right? And then maybe you want to lay on your bolster. You can build up underneath, sitting on a block, sitting on a cushion, whatever you need for it to be comfortable enough that you can stay. And then we're gonna find stillness. I think I'm gonna use a blanket. Slowly come out. Maybe you want to take a moment to do a little movement from side to side. And we're going to move into the other leg. Now, as with the open wing, two sides that might well be very different from one another. So take your time to find the edge for this side. Find the props, find the place. Now if you do lay down on one side, then try to switch your head at one point so that your neck doesn't get all one way. Now in Norway we have a saying when we go to the mountains that there's no shame in stopping, reevaluating, and considering going backwards, right? If you see that it's too hard. And I think it's important in yin as well.
if you have arrived at a place that you thought was your edge, but then you suddenly feel that it's very uncomfortable, then go out, reevaluate, and then come back to a new shape. And then if you feel like it's a good kind of stretch, but you want to get out because it's normal. You want to get out when it can feel a bit uncomfortable when it stretches. Try to use your breath and let go with that exhale. Relaxing just a little bit deeper. Okay. We're gonna move slowly out.
Take your time to come out. Maybe now as well, do some windshield wipers. Ooh. Just to get a little bit of movement. And then we're going to come into Shavasana. Now you can bring your blanket, whatever you need. And we're going to take a moment here. Just letting completely go. Letting gravity do its part. Sinking into the mat. Now I recommend that you stay here if you can. But we are going to move right along and turn over to one side. Slowly helping ourselves up to a seated. And that's it for our very first Sunday of the Christmas calendar challenge. Now, I hope you liked this little twist that we did with the yin. I felt that it was fitting for Sunday to have a little bit of a restorative practice, a little slower practice. Yeah, that's it. Looking forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. Okay? Now have a beautiful Sunday.